Hey guys, this is Tommy with Card Games on Computers and Geek Tyrant. Konami has sent out the new Structure Deck Legend of the Crystal Beast for Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. You can see on the back they have the whole list of cards, and a lot of them are just reprints. There are about, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new ones, I think, and then some tokens as well. And so we're going to go ahead and open it up. The Crystal Beasts are an interesting archetype. They're not very good, typically. There are fans who really like it because they really like GX and how they're used in GX by Jesse Anderson and blah blah blah. And they've got some cool things going for them. Ooh, that is very pretty. Very pretty indeed, Konami. Let's see. Okay, on the back we're gonna take a look. Let's see. It says on the back, it tells us about different strategies and things. You know, we use the Crystal Beast to get Rainbow Dragon, and then Rainbow Dragon can be used to grab Rainbow Over Dragon, or there's Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive, which I believe is the new one. You want to use the field spell Ancient City Rainbow Ruins, some cards to consider using, Crystal Boon and all that. Some Power of the Elements has some cards, Dimension Force, Battle of Chaos. They all have some cards to consider adding. And overall, okay, cool. I will say so the Crystal Beasts definitely have some interesting mechanics. Typically when they're destroyed, they go to the Spell and Trap Zone instead of the Monster Zone. And once they're in the Spell and Trap Zone, they basically do nothing, except certain other cards will let you special summon them from the Spell and Trap Zone or whatever, or they count as continuous spells. So real brief story time as I open this up is I play my own version of a progression series, like SEMO or MBT with progression playoffs, that kind of thing. I play my own with a friend, and there was a time that I decided I pulled Rainbow Dragon. Whatever pack Rainbow Dragon came out in, I ended up pulling him, and I was like, okay, that's it. I gotta run a Crystal Beast deck just once, just for fun. Expecting to get, completely demolished. And I think I also had 1 or 2 Sapphire Pegasus, and I had a surprisingly good Crystal Beast core, basically. And I ran Crystal Beast, and there's a card that I used, and my friend was shocked to see me use it, but it's a card that's also in this deck. And that card is Haman. The Sacred Beast Haman I use because the Crystal Beasts, when they're destroyed and sent to the Spell and Trap card zone, they go ahead and they count as continuous spell cards, which you need for Haman. So it's oh, that's perfect synergy together. Duh. I ended up winning that match, by the way, and it was pretty funny. If you are interested in here, we'll get to that. So right there's Rainbow Dragon in all its ultra rare glory. Looks pretty cool, honestly. We'll do the hollows and then I'll finish my thought from before. Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. This is one of the new cards. It is a fusion. You have to have already special summoned an ultimate crystal monster in the duel, and then use that ultimate crystal monster and 7 crystal beast monsters. So basically all of your crystal beasts more or less. In order, you banish them all to special summon this guy, and it's got some pretty cool effects. You go ahead and while 7 or more Crystal Beast monsters with different names are banished, of your Crystal Beast monsters are banished with different names, it gains 7,000 attack, bringing it up to 11,000 attack, which is pretty formidable. But as we all know, attack points aren't everything, because you got cards like Magic Cylinder, you've got tons of stall cards that stop it, but it also has a quick effect where if it has not battled that turn, you can tribute it and shuffle as many cards on the field as possible into the deck. If you do that, then you special summon any number of your banished Crystal Beast monsters. So you can go in, in theory, get set up for, if you have the right Crystal Beast banished and your opponent's at the right amount of life points, quick, your opponent goes to stop you, quick effect, tribute this guy, and you basically clear the entire field and then bring in your 5 of your Crystal Beasts and potentially take game. So there's something to it. It makes them better. It makes the Crystal Beast strategy better. By how much? That's a little debatable still here. I'll move it up. There we go. Ooh. Then we've got a Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. This is another new card. This one's pretty cool. It lets you normal summon an additional monster on your turn if that additional monster is a Crystal Beast. You can then go ahead and once per turn, I believe it's once per turn, during your main phase, you can destroy a Crystal Beast card you control or one that's in your hand to add a crystal spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And then if a Crystal Beast card is placed in your spell and trap zone, even if it's during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls and return both that card and Rainbow Bridge of the Heart to your hand, the hand, I should say. So, I mean, there you go. Bit more viability in this deck, bit more strategy. You got Crystal Bond. Then we get to the supers with Rainbow Overdragon. Then we get some tokens. We have Jesse Anderson, Bonder with the Crystal Beasts, and Jesse and Ruby Unleashing the Legend. And then we get to the commons. So as far as reprints go outside of the Crystal Beast strategy, there are a couple that people are going to want. Is it enough to buy the deck? It depends. So we got the Crystal Beast monsters. If you don't care about Crystal Beast cards, there's Foolish Burial Goods, which a lot of duelists are a fan of. There's Metaverse for all those Mystic Mind players. There is Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, the hand trap. There we go. There's Haman. Dimension Shifter, Contact C, and Ash Blossom. This is probably the fourth and final, generically good reprint from the deck. Let's see. I'm gonna try. There's Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. So, Rainbow Bridge, Crystal Beacon. It's a thing where if you like Crystal Beast, this deck looks very good. You can build, it might not be, viable in a competitive scene, but, for locals, you can probably take, a game or two or something. Don't know if you do very well at a YCS, though. But, that being said, outside of Crystal Beast, There are those 4 cards that might be appealing enough to you. That being said, it depends if you want all 4 or not. It might be best to just go singles as opposed to buying 3 copies of this deck. Oh, there is Cosmic Cyclone. I forgot that. But some of these have been reprinted so many times. Like Cosmic Cyclone has been reprinted so many times. It's not something that inherently is going to draw people to buy this deck. So let's see, just finishing up here. There's Metaverse and the Crystal Beast token. So this guy is nice because it works as a Crystal Beast monster of a different name for like Rainbow Overdragon, for Rainbow Dragon, for Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. Crystal Beast token is pretty nice. It's interesting to see tokens in like the super rare slots. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm also not a huge Jesse Anderson fan, so it is what it is. Although the artwork for Bonder with the Crystal Beast token, that's pretty cool. Let me get that. There we go. Like, that's pretty good artwork. A little bit of craziness happening. There we go. So, there you go. That's kind of a walkthrough for Legend of the Crystal Beast. It can be fun to try Crystal Beast if you've ever wanted to. That being said, you definitely want 3 copies of the deck so that you can, have a solid Crystal Beast core. Because these are so important to the strategy. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You won't want 3 copies of each of these. That would be half your deck, and you definitely want to flesh it out with some better cards. But like Sapphire Pegasus is going to be key to the deck. Ruby Carbuncle is pretty key to the deck. Topaz Tiger is pretty good. The others, you probably want it. Maybe Emerald Tortoise have at like 2. The others maybe consider just doing like 1. But there you go. Legend of the Crystal Beast. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And until next time, I end my turn.